This is the Enjoy Life podcast. If you feel overwhelmed or stuck and you want to break free so that you can find your power to take action to achieve your goals and enjoy life, then you're in the right place. Welcome, my friend. I am glad that you're here. My name is Nick Maisie, and it's my desire to be your guide through this material so that you can choose your mindset, goals, and actions so you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want to go and enjoy it. Now let's dive right in. Hello, and welcome to episode 201, the Enjoy Life podcast. As always, I am thrilled that you're here, you're joining in, you're listening in, and you're ready to take some action to go toward the goals that you have so that you can guide your life to go where you want it to go and enjoy it. That is why this podcast is here and what I want to help you with. And as you may already know, you probably picked up on this because either you listened to the last episode where I introduced this series, or you just saw the title of this episode. And so we're going to be talking about making progress. We're in a Make Progress series. It's all about making progress towards your goals. So you have the goals that you want for either short-term, long-term, your whole life or a specific area. You have these goals. Now, before I can say anything further, first of all, have you written your goals down? Now, this whole episode is not about writing your goals down, but there is so much power in writing them down. So write your goals down. Now, if you want a little bit of help with that, you just go to nickmaisie.com. There's a little drop-down menu. I got resources on goal setting and making powerful goals, overcoming goal killers. I got also all kinds of goal stuff on there. So just go to nickmaisie.com. All right. But you have your goals, and you've got them written down. Now, if they're really important to you, then they're probably big. And I really suggest you have goals that are important to you and that are big. There's a catch-22 here. It's like if you want to live the life that you want, and you want to make the improvements and just really to be guiding your life to go where you want it to go, then you have to have these big goals. But the problem is that when you have these big goals and then they have a whole lot of steps to achieve them, then it can be kind of defeating and overwhelming when you're looking at all the steps and all the stuff you're going to have to do. So I said it's kind of like a catch-22. If you don't set that big goal, well, then you're not going to achieve it, and that's not making any progress. Or you set this big goal, but then you look at all the steps that you got to do to achieve it, and that's overwhelming, and then sometimes you're not making any progress. So how do we get out of that? Well, before I dive into the major key kind of strategy that I want you to take away today, before we dive into that, I just got to tell you, I know what it's like to have big goals. I know what it's like to have big goals that are a little bit overwhelming, that I've struggled to make progress toward and to achieve. And frankly, I want to tell you about two different goals that I've had, and how they were very. They had kind of a similar purpose of why I set the goals, but they were very different, and they were very overwhelming for different reasons. One of my goals had a clearly defined path. Now, it was a big goal, but it was a very defined path. Like I knew the steps I needed to take from this week to that month to that year, and I could kind of plot out almost without any errors, kind of looking at it in hindsight. I could have plotted out from the very beginning what it was going to take for me to get where I was at to eventually where I wanted to be. And the other really big kind of life goal that I had, well, not too long ago, I guess about 10 years ago now. This one did not have a clearly defined path. The steps were kind of vague, and just the way that the goal was, I didn't know the path that was going to take me to get there. I just knew I had to do a whole lot of work, take a whole lot of steps, and it was going to take a lot of time. And so, like I said, both these goals were going to take a lot of time and steps. One was very clearly defined, and the other one was pretty vague. And what's interesting is they both were very overwhelming and made it a struggle, even though one was, like, I figured, well, if the clearly defined one was overwhelming, then the vague path would not be overwhelming. No, they were both a real big struggle. And what they were, just kind of let you know exactly what I'm talking about, is the clearly defined big life goal path that I had, that was me getting my master's degree in psychology. So I wanted to get my master's degree in psychology because I thought that with that, I could get trained well and be able to help people make positive changes in their lives. Well, interestingly, that goal, I set that goal because, well, kind of around the time that I was making a lot of progress and almost getting to the point where I was satisfied with the first or the other goal, which was getting my life on track. So I was at a pretty bad spot with my life, a whole bunch of bad choices. This episode's not about the struggles and kind of the bad place that I got my life to, that I had to kind of dig my way out of. But long story short, made a bunch of bad choices and suffered the consequences. So I had to get my life on track. I had to make some major life changes and improvements so that I could feel good about my life, so that I could do something positive and not be in that terrible spot that I was. So that was the vague step, or the vague path goal, was that I had to get my whole life, I had to change everything. I had to change everything about my life. And there was not a clearly defined path. All I knew is that it was going to take a ton of work, a ton of effort, a ton of steps, and a long time to get from the bad spot that I had put myself in to some place that I could kind of be proud of and like my life. And that was, like I said, it was challenging and really overwhelming because I just knew the magnitude of the work, but I didn't have clearly defined steps to take. I was getting a lot of advice and guidance from people, and I was just open to anything and just trying. But there was a lot of take 2 steps forward, take 1 step back, get off track, have to get back on track. I think some of it was because I didn't have a clearly defined path. But another piece was I was allowing myself to get overwhelmed by all that I needed to do. I was allowing myself to be overwhelmed by all that I needed to do, and that made progress exponentially more difficult. It made it so that I was making more mistakes. So I was getting off track more because I was getting frustrated. I was getting overwhelmed. And that was because I was getting overwhelmed by all the steps I was going to need to take. So now let's go over to the clearly defined path goal, the big life goal I had of getting my master's degree. So after I got my life on track a little bit, started to set some bigger goals because a lot of people had helped me. So I wanted to help a lot of people. I thought a great way to do that was to earn a degree in psychology and then use that degree to help people make positive changes in their lives. Well, when I set that big goal, at that point in time, I hadn't finished an associate's degree. So I knew I needed to knock out my associates, get my bachelor's, get my master's. And if I looked up curriculum for those, I could pretty much lay out, I needed to take this class, this class, this class, do this internship, this practicum. And that was the clearly defined, steps. If I just looked it up online, you had access to, you do every single thing you'd have to do, or that I'd have to do to get from where I was at to where I was trying to go for that goal. And once again, that was very overwhelming in a different way than my get my life on track goal, because it was clearly defined. I knew all the steps. There was no question or uncertainty of did I need to do this or that. That wasn't the overwhelming piece. The overwhelming piece was that I could see every single step I had to do. That's overwhelming. That can be defeating. That can stop progress. Now, very, very fortunately, well, for me, I believe, I didn't quit, and I kind of muddled through and struggled through and just kept pushing myself. Now, looking back, I have learned a very, very valuable thing that I wish I would have believed to my core earlier, and it would have made achieving both of those goals so much easier. So much easier. And I'm going to go ahead and say, this is just kind of a guess looking backwards, but I really think that this one strategy would have made the big life, improving my life goal, getting my life on track goal. I think it would have made that one, I don't even know what's bigger than exponentially better. Like, it would have made it so much easier. It would have felt better. I would have been more proud of myself along the way. I could have felt good about the progress that I was making. It would have been a huge, just massive boost, this one strategy. Getting my master's degree, it definitely would have helped with that too, at least with my mindset and enjoying the path a little bit more. But this strategy, it's related to something that a lot of people want these days that is not going to get you the life and the success you want. A lot of people are looking for that quick win, that fix, that hack. What's the quick hack to save more money, or the quick hack to lose weight or to improve your well-being? What's this hack or this trick? No. See, a lot of people are looking for that little hack or that quick win or that quick fix. And looking for that is not going to end up making the big changes that you want for your life, because that's not sustainable. Those quick hacks and fixes and all that stuff, that's not sustainable. What's sustainable, what can help you to make progress, what can help you to get from where you're at to where you want to be, is not those quick hacks or those large leaps. Instead, it's the small steps. There is amazing power in valuing, in placing importance on the small steps that you do on a regular basis. It's just those small steps. And it's interesting when you do those small things and you value those small steps, over time, the progress is insane. It is huge. But on top of making the progress, the journey is so much more enjoyable because you're valuing what you're doing. See, that's the huge benefit to getting my life on track is if I really valued those small, tiny adjustments a little bit more and I placed importance on those small steps, then I would have enjoyed the journey a lot more. I would have felt better about myself. I would have seen a lot more value and a lot more progress. And then that extra boost from feeling that is what would have given me faster returns. I would have made more progress quicker and all that. It also would have helped me in earning my master's degree because I could have stayed on it, and really zeroed in and valued the small steps that I was taking instead of, well, in both cases, keep looking forward only to that large goal far off. Because yes, I made progress in both of those goals, but it was more of a struggle than it needed to be because I wasn't valuing those small steps. There's power in the small steps. And one of the ways, and this is like the key strategy or technique that I try to use now, because I have a lot of different goals and just different areas of my life, and I'm really just trying to bring all that I can, and just to tell myself a little bit and get a little personal. Some of that is because of a lot of the mistakes and challenges and, well, failures, let's just put it like that I've had in the past. And I feel like I've got to hit it hard for the rest of my life because I got more to give and more potential, and the only way to do it is to make the absolute best of what I got right now. I got a lot to give, so I'm going to give all I got. But that doesn't mean that I only go for the large leaps. Instead, what that means is I do one small thing at a time. One small thing at a time. It's one small thing at a time that allows me to make progress. It allows me to be the best that I can in my family life, my professional life, with my health and my well-being. It allows me to be here for you on this podcast so that I can provide this material for you so that you can guide your life to go where you want it to go. It allows me to do all these things and feel good about it. One small thing at a time. See, if I try to do too much, or honestly, if I look at the far down the path goal too much, then it does become overwhelming. It does become defeating. I forget that I am strong and I am capable and I can make progress and I can do these things. I forget that when I forget to do one small thing at a time. So if your big goals are overwhelming, or if you're struggling to make progress, or even if you're just getting off track some, getting distracted, or I can't do all of that work to achieve that goal, don't worry about that. You're right. You can't do all that work to achieve your big goal today. I mean, you can't do it today. You can't do it all at once. But my friend, you can do one small thing at a time. You can do that. I think back to when we have a bad rainstorm come through and go to the office and there's some leaks there. And, you see a bucket and we put a bucket out underneath the backside of the building. And one tiny drop of water, it doesn't make any bit of difference. But over time, that one little droplet at a time, and you just go on about your day, you go on about your business, and that one little drop at a time, before you know it, there's a lot of water in that bucket. Before you know it, one small step or one small thing at a time, that small step, you make progress towards your goals. It's those things that you do and you repeat, and they're not a big deal. That's the amazing, powerful piece of the one small thing at a time, is that they're not a big deal. Those small steps, those small choices that you make to go towards your goal, they're not a big deal. You can do it. And then you repeat and you repeat. And before you know it, man, you're achieving your goals. You're living the life that you want, and it's wonderful. This plays true to me, because recently I have been just doing my lunch break gym sessions. I've gone through for a couple of runs, like outside of work or on the weekend or afterwards. I mean, just a few times I've gotten a little bit bigger exercise. But honestly, for the last few months, thinking back, it might be like 6 months or longer now. Could be a year. I don't know. I didn't track at the beginning of it. I just started just doing my lunch break gym sessions really quick. I feel great. I am stronger. I think I'm looking a little bit better maybe. And I've seen such a good results. It's just the consistency. The quick gym session or short workout. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to get into my day that it's not a big hurdle for me to overcome. But when I repeat it, since it is easy, and it's easier to repeat because it's just an easy thing to do, it's not, the 2-hour session at the gym or these massive changes in my life that I'm trying to make all at once. No, it's that one small thing at a time. And then all of a sudden, looking back, I've just lived my life, but it's been that shift that I've made, that change, and I'm getting the results that I want. And it's so much easier. It's not overwhelming. It's not defeating. And it ends up leading to the life that I want. And I believe the same can be true for you. One small thing at a time, you can make the changes that you want. You can make the progress that you want for your life. You can achieve the goals you've set out for yourself. You can guide your life to go where you want it to go, one small thing at a time. And that can help you to enjoy your life, because that is what I want for you, my friend. That is why this podcast, all my stuff is here to help you to live the life you want and enjoy it. This is your life. Go make it what you want it to be. Well, thank you so much for joining in this Enjoy Life podcast episode today. Can't wait to talk to you again next week. All right. Take care. I want to take just a moment right here to say I am glad that you're here. I am glad that you're joining in, you're listening in, you're taking action, you're following through on some of the information that we talk about. The pieces that apply to your life, that resonate with you, you're doing something about it. And that's awesome. I love that. I love that so much, because I believe that you are powerful, you are capable. I believe you can claim your power to guide your life to go in the direction that you want to go and enjoy it. That's what this podcast is here, and this is what my message is here for you to do. But I am counting on you a little bit. I'm counting on you to help share this message with other people. There's a million podcasts out there these days, and if you take just a moment, just one quick moment, you can help more people to find this message. You can either share it on social media, or you can take a second and just give a rating and review. That way more people can find this podcast, this episode, and this message. I want this message to help you, and I want it to help the people that you know that it might resonate with too. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for sharing this message. Thank you for being you. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon.